my name is Sarah, and this is going to be the first ever video on my YouTube channel. Hi, I'm Sarah. Hi, as in H-I-G-H. Isn't it funny that when you're stoned and you always say hi to someone, you're always like, that's what I am. Alright, so I'm gonna cut to the chase pretty quick, and the point of starting this channel, I mean, I know a lot of people are doing it, there's that whole kind of thing, but I felt like there are beauty influencers and there are weed tubers. Beauty influencers are just artificial and not really my style, you know, and then weed tubers are mostly guys, and it's a lot of like, yes dude, take that 7-gram challenge or something like that, which, don't get me wrong, we gonna do some shit like that, but I mean, I just want to see it coming from another strong, independent female like myself. And so it was like, why don't I just go ahead and put that content out there for everyone else? Like, if that content's not already out there, I mean, I might as well create it. So yeah, I mean, without further ado, let's go ahead and get session, and then we'll go ahead and get to the beauty, and all the while, I will tell you about my experience with the criminal justice system. The stories you hear are actually fucking true, so listen up. Alright, and I have some Pineapple Express already grinded up and loaded and ready to go. Left with no one's permission, writing rhymes in your kitchen while you're changing your clothes. I'm turning smiles to frowns, now nobody's around, so here's a song with some more shitty thoughts around. And honestly, I feel like this piece needs to be cleaned. And you can't tell there's like a little bit of a pull to it, but I mean, yeah. Alright, so I went ahead and I heat this up because I'm also going to take a dab. I doled myself out a dab of WSU Crumble, which I got from my local dispensary, and I will go ahead and I think I'll start telling you the story of how I landed myself in jail for a full 24 hours. And it's a really funny story, actually. It's not funny. I mean, I did something and I paid the consequences for it. But I mean, shit happens, am I right? All I've been thinking is like, this is another experience. You will appreciate it one day, if not fucking today. So, I was at Walmart with a couple of friends, and I made the bad choice of stealing an eyeliner, and it was one eyeliner, and the total with tax came out to $8.54, and I previously knew of another friend who had stolen from that same Walmart around the same price range, maybe a little bit higher, and nothing happened to her. And I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be fine, like that's just gonna be the same thing that happens to me, like I'm not gonna be worried about it. And I should have been more worried about it, obviously, and it looks like this is ready to go. That was a nice dab. This is a thermal banger, so that's why I have to wait so long on the cool down. And then I always gotta clean it up with a Q-tip afterwards. Really fucking important. And so she didn't have no repercussions whatsoever, and I was like, okay, that'll just be me. And then the cops came. I got put in cuffs and put in the back of a cop car, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, honestly, I feel like it may have been because I'm a little brown. Y'all know, I'm a little Filipino. I got that love in me. But, you know, shit fucking happens. And then I got a scheduled court date. I went in for my arraignment. I pled guilty because, I mean, the shit was in my purse, like, can't do much there. And then after I went to my court date, they stated everything that was done and had been said and all of that. And then the judge gave me 24 hours in jail, a $350 fine, $175 in legal fees, $43 criminal conviction filing fee. There is a $25 jail booking fee, and probation for 6 months supervised, followed by 3 months unsupervised. And the cost of probation is also $300. So it added up to a mighty hefty fine in comparison to that $854 that I took. But I think what hurts the most is that this other girl, she didn't get any of those like repercussions, and while I understand like circumstances may be different, I just don't understand why. And I went to jail, and before I went to jail, my friends and I, we made it a whole big fucking thing. We had a whole car full of people plus an extra person. My friend Jenna had to be in the trunk on the way there when I got dropped off, and on the way when I got picked up from jail, my friend Kevin was in the back seat. It was so funny. I got in the car, and then Kevin was like, hello, and I didn't know anyone was in the back seat, and then he also had a dog with him, and I was like, what is happening? So my friends and I kind of made a big joke out of this whole thing. Like, we had a group drop off, we had a group pickup. When they picked me up, I had a cake, and I had like a little they got me this mascara for me as like a joke from Walmart, so that was fucking hilarious. And then what else? Oh god, right before I went, I took a 100 milligram edible. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, it wasn't an edible, I guess, actually. They were like oil pills. And oh shit. Okay, so here's a thing that I do, and it's gonna look weird, but got a lighter, and I light my eyebrow pomade, and it like makes it particularly melty and makes it like apply super smoothly. But back to the story. So went in, my thing was at 7 o'clock, so I like had to go right at 7 o'clock, and I took the oil pills at 6:56, going down the street of like 2 blocks away from the jail, like where I had to be. And I was like, well shit, and I literally popped, there was 10 of them because they're 10 milligrams each and 100 milligrams total, and I popped all of them out into my hand and literally put all of them in my mouth and took them all at once. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm way too good at that. Like, that was terrible. And then, ooh, nice and melty. Okay. It's like chocolate. It looks like melted chocolate, and then it's like you're stoned and you're like, oh, I want to eat it, but it's like, no girl, that's makeup. And so then I went in, and they're like, oh, hey, we're processing someone right now, who actually ended up being my cellmate, which was really cool. Shout out to Rebecca. And they were processing her, so I just had to like wait outside with my phone and everything for a whole hour before they processed me. And obviously by that point, I'm motherfucking feeling these edibles. Like, let's get that straight. And that was really fucking intense, because you're just like, and they moved me to a holding cell at around 8 o'clock, right when the edibles are kicking in. And then, oh my god, these eyebrows don't want to fucking behave. Okay. It's like, you put your spoolie there, and they're just like, yeah, bitch, get in place. And then, fucking, sorry, it's like when you're doing your makeup, you're like, I'm just so focused right now. And so, I was just really freaking stoned for the longest time. And I remember falling asleep in the holding cell, waking up, it being 2 hours later, and like him like talking to him and having to answer all these questions high, and like thinking like, oh god, what if he thinks I stutter? Like, what if he's like, this bitch is stoned out of her mind? My pictures, I wish I could show you like the picture of how I looked, because I looked so fucking stoned. But Yeah, you can't see that because I don't even know where to find that information. So, if anyone knows where to fucking find that information, let me know. Holla at me, my fellow convicts. I'm just kidding. Okay, and then after that, I got moved to I finally got put in a cell probably close to like 10 or 11, which is not that bad. Yeah. And then I didn't really talk to my roommate much until the next day, and the next day we were really cool. But most of the day I slept in till like 12 because you know that edible hit me really damn hard. But it was good, man. It was good. I read like 2 chapters of a book about how like this lion got out of like his cage and like something was up, but like I don't know what happened because I didn't finish the book. But it's by like James Patterson. If you want to figure that shit out for me, you can figure that shit out for me as well. Okay, I got one brow down here. This was like a really good way to set it up because I know a lot of people here are not gonna stay for the rest of the makeup. They really just want to hear the story. So then the next day, everyone's also really curious about the food. So they woke us up at 6 a.m. to open up the door, and I had to share a 10 by 10 cell with her. That was the one thing that the corrections officer said to me when he was like asking me all the questions. He's like, oh, by the way, like you're gonna have a cellmate. It's gonna be really uncomfortable. And I'm like, oh great, thank you for that. So reassuring, right? And then I put it on backwards. So he told me that, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not like really too worried about it because I've been in the psych ward, and that shit's even fucking worse than fucking jail. Let me tell you, that shit is 100% worse than jail, in my opinion, depending on how long I guess you'd have to be there, because 24 hours isn't that bad, but it could be a lot worse, you know. And so, yeah, just fucking spent my time doing that. Oh, and the food woke us up at 6 a.m. It was eggs, bacon, and like toast. I think I ended up having like the toast and the bacon because the eggs were like artificial as fuck. So I was like, no thanks, I'm gonna pass on that. And like some fucking like Tampico juice or something. And then lunch was some nasty ass sandwich with some brown lettuce, and I was just in some bologna and American cheese, and I was like, I think I'm gonna pass on this too. And I went ahead and I passed on that as well. And after that, for dinner, it was like white bread with 2 hot dogs, and then white bread, and then covered in like beans. I like Frank's beans is what I imagine when I say that. And yeah, man, fuck. And after that, I mean, I was let go because we got dinner at like 5 o'clock and lunch was like noon, but dinner at 5 o'clock and I didn't really eat that either. So I honestly threw out more food than I stole, which is really sad. So I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out, and then we'll get to like the rest of the real makeup, and I'll finish up on the story. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start on the shadow now. And I mean, keep talking about this whole jail thing, I guess. Jail's crazy, dude. The fact that like our government can lock us up like whenever they deem that like something we've done's like not acceptable. Like the thing with my PO is that she was like, oh well, like you're not taking, I told her I was like, I think it's a little much for like what I did, but also I know other people who've done it and they didn't get the same punishment. And she was like, oh well, like that's not your thing to worry about. And also saying that I wasn't taking responsibility for my actions, and I was there to like discuss my parole was why I was there. And so I was like, how do you have the audacity to tell me that I'm not taking like responsibility for my actions when I'm here and I'm talking to you and I've already started my community service and I've done all of these other things, and like you are telling me I'm not taking responsibility for my actions. I'm saying I should have gotten punished, but I don't think I should have gone to jail necessarily, considering I know people who have also gotten like fucking DUIs and then fucked up, and then they fucking have to, they don't get that either. They don't have to go to jail either, and they've told me, holy shit, look how fucked up that is. Oh my god. I broke an eyeshadow, I won't lie, down here. So it's getting fucking everywhere now. So there's that. And yeah, and they've told me too, they're like, wow, I really think that's fucked up. Like, you shouldn't have had to do that. And I'm like, no, I know I shouldn't have had to do that, but it's okay because it was life experience. And honestly, it felt really fucking short because, you know, stoned. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I feel like that's the end of the story. Take what you want from it, but I'm gonna keep doing this makeup. Okay, next I'm gonna go ahead and take red ochre from this palette, and this I'm just gonna go ahead and keep just barely on the tip and working right there. You can see it darkens up that crease so much more. I'm like trying to like not put my palette like exactly in front of my face like a fucking asshole, but it's so hard. That's like the one thing that, like, since this is like my very first video I'm ever recording, I mean, it's hard getting used to that. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and work a shimmer shade on there, because that would look fucking nice as hell. And I'm the kind of person, this isn't like actually like a hair thing, but I just use it for water, and I would like to wet my brush with it, because I mean, if you don't wet your shimmers, then girl, you're not living up to the full potential. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the orange one. I kind of like the lighter, more coppery tone. Actually, we'll get a dabble, just a dabble. Oh god, who am I? Okay, let's go ahead and just pat this on. Beautiful. And then dip back into the Anastasia palette's orange. There we go. Okay, so I'll be back and I'm gonna go ahead and match the other eye. Alright, so I went ahead and finished the other eye, put on my lashes, and then I went ahead and put white eyeliner on my under eye. This right here. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I actually do not use a primer. I just go ahead and put on a moisturizer, and usually it's just a trick. It's pretty tacky by this time, now that I've like let it sit for a little bit. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep talking about everything that's happened, I guess. And I mean, it's really fucking sad because like my PO is like, she was trying to make me like feel bad and say that I like wasn't taking responsibility for my actions or whatever, but like, I mean, I am taking responsibility for my actions. And she was like trying to make me feel bad and say things like, oh, like, what would your kids think about this? And I'm like, first of all, I don't want to have kids, so that's a whole nother story. But like I don't ever in my life plan right now to have kids, and I like don't really plan on changing my mind anytime soon. And she was like trying to make me feel bad. Well, like, oh, and when I told her that, she literally just like gave me this look that said like, you fucking monster. Like, what else are females good for? Like, and the thing is too, I think that she just kind of hates me. Like, okay, she specifically told me at my probation intake, what is on my face right now? She told me specifically at my probation intake that, oh, you have to go ahead and call the jail and schedule your jail time that way. And I'm like, okay, like that's something that I was like very like, oh, like I need to pay attention on how to do this. Like I asked her and stuff, and she's like, call the jail, do that. And I called them, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, they're like, do you have a probation officer? And I'm like, yeah, it's Mary. And they're like, well, Mary's been doing this for 20 years. I don't know why she'd tell you she knows to schedule it through her, not us. And I'm like, well, I don't know when Mary told me that either, okay? She just told me to do that. So I don't fucking know. You fucking tell me. And so then I had to call her back and be like, well, can I schedule it with you? And she's like, well, yeah, I don't know why I would tell you any different. And I'm like, bitch, that's what you fucking told me. Like, so I think that, like, she's salty because we got in, like, that kind of argument. And everyone's like, oh no, like, don't fight with your PO. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not gonna be disrespected as like, we're both human beings. Okay, that doesn't put, like, if I'm not doing anything wrong, besides obviously smoking weed, okay, that's like the one exception, but like, if I'm not doing anything wrong otherwise in society, she has nothing to hold over my head otherwise. And if she does, that is an abuse of her power. So for people to be like, you shouldn't do that to her, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm not doing anything. I'm like, she like tried to start counseling me, like talking to me about my mental health, and I was like, that's kind of crossing the line and it makes me uncomfortable. Can you please stop talking about it? And that's why she was saying I wasn't taking responsibility. And I was like, my mental health is none of your business. Like, you're my PO, not my fucking psychologist. And like, it was just such a cross of barriers, and I was just so fucking beshooketh. But I mean, like, none of that really matters now because I don't have to see her. I just have to mail in a paper once a month being like, I'm here, what's up, that's it. So I don't even have to go into the office. I can literally mail it in and it'll be all fucking good. So bam, I don't have to worry about that shit, thank God. Okay, so I went ahead, bronzed my face, gave it a little bake. I'm gonna go ahead and spurt my brush right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply some highlight. All right, actually, fuck that. I'm gonna apply some blush first, and then I'm gonna apply some highlight. Here we go. Ooh, make myself look up like I've been pinching my cheeks. You know, when your fucking auntie come in and she fucking pinch your cheeks. If I could make that into a blush color, I would be successful in this world. Okay, now let's go ahead and pop on the highlight. I went and wet my brush. And again, all of the products I'm using are in the description below. So, since I don't really have, like, time to talk about it. And I mean, like, I'm not a whole, like, super aspiring highlight kind of person, if you know what I mean. I'm just more like subtle realistically, because I don't really like the texture a whole lot of highlight gives to the skin, if you know what I mean, because a lot of us don't have that perfect fucking unrealistic airbrush skin that all these fucking beauty influencers have. So I mean, like, let me create a little bit more realistic standard for you. Okay, that's why I was like, hell yeah, like, stoner beauty artist, I can fucking do that. So, ooh, I mean, I lied. That highlight's pretty fucking popping the way the light's hitting it. Okay, and I mean, what lip do we want to go ahead and do? This is like kind of a red eye. I think I'll go ahead and do like a red lip. Do I trust myself? Ooh, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll try this. And this is the final look. I hope you guys appreciated it, and I hope you appreciated my little telltale story. And I mean, depending on the feedback I get on this video, I'll see if I'll upload more, maybe not, maybe so. I was thinking maybe like testing liquid lipsticks and their transfer on bongs, seeing like what liquid lipstick would be like the best transfer proof for bongs, and we'll go ahead and like test that kind of thing out. Or maybe we'll go ahead and tell other stony stories, or maybe some stony vlogs as well, because I mean, like, I know y'all would love to see my friends, because my friends are funny as fuck and even more entertaining than I am. So I mean, go ahead, like, subscribe, leave comments below on what you would like to see from me next, and I will see y'all next time.